About a week ago, I poured this little slab here in my big pig pen, and what this is for is so that I'll have a good place to put their water nipple where they don't end up digging a gigantic hole and causing a bunch of problems. You can see right here how high the fence is off the ground. That's because the pigs last year did exactly what I just described, and we had trouble with them escaping, and it was just one problem after another. So I'm hoping that the little slab here at the water nipple is going to solve that problem, but also there's some more upgrades that I want to make here before I turn these guys loose. My plan is to put 2 steel posts on either corner of the slab here, and then we'll do some cross braces with like channel or angle or whatever I've got handy. And that'll give me a good place to mount the water nipple to, and also kind of strengthen the 2 posts. Once that part is done, then the plan is to take a hog panel and weld it to that square brace structure so that I've at least got a good solid piece of fence here where the water nipple will be. When I got these pigs home, this little enclosure was plenty of room for them, but they are starting to get big, and I would like to get them out of here because they've got all this room. That's the whole point of having the pig pen here, is to give them room. I try not to confine them if I don't have to. So hopefully we can get this done today, get these guys turned loose, then this kind of phase of the project will be done. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. So you can kind of get the basic idea of what I'm doing here. This is nothing complicated, but it's going to be heavy and strong. My goal is to build everything inside the shop here so that I don't have to drag my portable welder out to the pig pen. It's a lot easier to just do everything in here where all the tools are, and then hopefully I can just take this piece that I build out there, dig the holes in the right spot, and cement it into the ground. We're getting pretty close here with the frame structure. All that's really left to do at this point is to weld the hog paneling against the frame here. But before I do that, I wanted to show you why I welded this little piece of channel iron with a hole on this cross brace. My plan is to use a bulkhead fitting in this hole here, and then I can attach the drinker nipple to one side and then a hose adapter to the other side so that I can plug a garden hose into the nipple, and it'll be plenty strong if the pigs are like pulling on it or fighting right next to it, or if you've raised pigs, you know what I'm talking about. They do weird things. I know this thing looks like it's way overbuilt, and maybe it is, but my thought with pigs, or really with any livestock, is I want to start building things in such a way where it's the last time I have to build it. I want this to last as long as I need it to last, and that might be the rest of my life. That might be a couple lifetimes. like this is done, let's go figure out how we're gonna get it in the ground. Actually, let's figure out how we're gonna get it over there, because this is super heavy. As long as it stays on there, that ought to work. I wish that was deep enough, but I don't think it is. Those holes are probably not as deep as they should be, but you know how it goes. When you're digging them, the acceptable depth level gets shallower and shallower. So let's drop this thing in there and see what it looks like. Well, we're close, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I had envisioned this hog panel actually touching the slab or being like right on top of it. So I'd say we've got several more inches to go, and yeah, I might need to go get a digging bar because this ground is rock hard. So this is a digging bar, at least that's the only name I've ever known it by. Maybe you call it something different. And it's just as much fun as it sounds. Basically, you're using either the flat edge or the pointed edge to break up the really hard ground, and then you got to use a post hole digger to scoop the loose dirt out of the hole. So it makes the process of digging a hole take quite a bit longer, but it's going to take a long time no matter what when you're digging in this rock hard clay. Let's see if this fits in there now. That nipple would be at 15 inches. We need to at least go down another inch, but really anywhere from 12 to 14 inches I think would be ideal. So we've got about 2.5 inches before this bottom piece touches the slab. So I guess what I'm saying is more digging. That puts us at about 13.5 inches now, and I'm gonna say that's perfect. When I poured the little slab here, I had to pull this T-post out so that I could kind of back it up and get it out of the way. So now I want to put that back and see. I'm hoping that I can get this fence wire down low enough and then tie it to the new structure that we just put in the ground. And hopefully that'll keep the pigs from being able to like get their noses under that wire and lift it up like they were before. I couldn't have done this if I tried to do it, but as it turns out, my hose fitting is coming out behind the bulkhead right into this T-post. And you know, this T-post kind of is gonna be where it's gonna be. I suppose I could take the clips off of it and bend it over a little bit, and it would only need to go like an inch to fit. Much better. It's been a couple of days. This concrete should have had plenty of time to set, especially considering how small the pigs are. So let's hook the water line up to the water nipple here, make sure everything works, and then we can turn these guys loose. Yeah, we got a little leak here. Don't go too hard on those plastic threads. That ought to work. Well, I kept trying to show them where the new water nipple was, but as you can imagine, being in a new pen with all these new things to look at and explore, it took them a while before they really cared about what I was trying to show them. So I have seen 2 of them drink out of it. I was only able to get 1 on camera, but because of that, I have no doubt that the other ones will figure it out, because pigs are pretty smart that way. If they get thirsty and they see their buddy drinking off of that thing, then they're gonna know that that's what they need to do to get a drink as well. You can already see after only several days of having this water nipple how much mud there is underneath it and how much they've dug it out. They've probably dug this down 8 to 10 inches already. So you can imagine by the end of summer how deep this hole would be if there was no concrete there. That was the whole inspiration for putting a concrete pad here. I know I've talked about it several times, but until you actually see what they can do in such a short amount of time, you might not get it. Well, so far this seems to be working just like I had hoped. I gently sloped the slab towards the fence here so that any water that got on the concrete would drain off this way. So I will probably end up having a wet spot on the other side of the fence here for basically all summer, but that doesn't bother me because that's where I want it, because the pigs can't get to it there. The thing that I was a little bit worried about doing it this way is that if the water just drained off the side of the slab and made mud all around the slab, that they would just start rooting and tearing all the ground up right around the slab, and then you almost end up with the same problem. But I think having the water drain off this way should prevent that. So moving forward with the big pig pen, I think what I would like to do is to sort of terminate the wire fence right here on this last pipe on the water slab, and then from that pipe all the way down to the little house, I would like to do permanent hog panels with, you know, with heavy duty posts that I can actually weld them to. In addition to doing that, I'm planning on pouring a little bit larger slab here to put their feeder on, and this feeder is gonna go in the garbage basically, or I might end up putting it in the little pen, I'm not sure yet. But at least for the big pen, this feeder is out, new slab in, and then we're gonna build a new bigger feeder that is hopefully a little bit more waterproof and a little bit more rodent proof. And I think that is gonna solve a lot of the problems that I've been having out here with the pigs. All that's gonna have to wait for another video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.